Okay, I think we have everyone here that's going to be here. So without further ado, welcome, like I said, to our business analytics orientation for the April cohort. My name is Molly, and I'm a student advisor here at Springboard. It's my job today to orient you on the course structure and material and get you acquainted with what is to come. Our orientation session will be around 30, 35, 40 minutes, depending on the questions at the end. I'll dig into the structure in a bit, but in the meantime, make sure you can hear me, and if you haven't already, I would ask that you mute yourselves just so that there's no background noise, and then unmute yourself and join us at the end when we will have time for questions. Cool, so I will share my screen. Perfect. And close it up, so just me's here. Awesome. So first today, our orientation overview. We'll start off with course support. So who can you lean on in the course when things might get tough? We'll move on then to course structure. So what are the 4 different components of our course and how can you utilize them? From there, we will talk about tips to succeed in the course. So these are tips that I feel differentiate students who are extremely successful in the course to those who might struggle a little bit. We'll end with next steps, and then the last 10 to 15 minutes can be question and answer. So first, course support, who can you lean on in the course? Your student advisor, who is me, Ollie. I'm here to check in with things like accountability, time management, prioritization. I am not a business analyst, so sadly I will not be able to help with content or curriculum knowledge, but anything regarding the Springboard platform or the student experience, I would love to help you out with. I have weekly or monthly calls with students if they would like just an extra person to be accountable to. Or I'm also here to talk about logistical things like billing. But definitely if you ever have a question or aren't sure necessarily who to go to, always feel comfortable and able to reach out to me, and then I can lead you to the correct person, or I can help you out myself. Alongside myself, we have Leo, who is also on the Springboard side of things. Leo is there to ask more like logistical, like I was saying, questions. So he will handle most of your billing issues, but if you email one of us, we can delegate that question to the right person. And he also lives on your student platform. So there's a small little blue life boat that says Beacon. And so if you have a question in the curriculum, you could always contact Leo directly that way as well. And we're kind of more on the Springboard side of things for the support that you can expect to receive. Great, alongside that, we have Justin Fong, who is your community manager. We'll talk about what the community is in the next couple of slides, but for now, do know that he is an industry expert. He is currently a business analyst in San Francisco. He responds to questions that you post in the community within 24 hours. And he's there to share resources, share ideas, talk about case studies, help you out with Excel, whatever you need, and make sure that you never feel alone. Like I said, he does live in the community. So that means that when you post a question to the community, he can see it and he can help you and kind of assist you in between mentor calls, which leads us to your mentor. Your mentor is not there just yet because you find out who your mentor is this Friday, March 29th. Alongside Justin, they are also industry experts, extremely passionate for mentoring, really excited to impart their knowledge onto the new generation of business analysts. You will be able to talk and chat with your mentor once a week in a 45-minute call. This call will be at the same time and the same day every week, and we'll just continue on out for 12 weeks that you're in the course. I will talk a little bit about what will happen if you need to reschedule or cancel, but just now know that your mentor and Justin are more on the course content and curriculum side of things. They can help you with technical and those foundational skills that you'll learn in this course. So kind of broken down into 2 segments. We have the Springboard side of things with me and Leo, and then the content curriculum side of things with Justin and your mentor. Moving on, we'll discuss the course structure. So first off, it's a case study based curriculum. You have 5 different case studies that you can work on. You only have to complete 3 out of the 5 to apply to complete. These go over things like forecasting, customer segmentation, the list goes on and on. Each of the case studies are different and they require different skills. However, they are all extremely useful and beneficial in you completing the course. You can use your mentor while you're working through the curriculum if you have any questions. But it is not only case study, but also project-based, meaning that as soon as you learn something in the curriculum, you'll be able to directly apply it to those case studies. So it's really interactive and kind of teaches you all that you need to know while you go through the course. Do know that you will need to have Excel if you don't already have Excel. We provide access links to Tableau and SQL, but those are the three main tools that we'll be using in this course. Our mentor calls are 45 minutes once a week. This is really valuable time with that industry expert. So if you are having questions while you work through the curriculum, reach out to your mentor, plan the call ahead of time, ask the questions that you need. It's a really important time that you can gain a ton of knowledge from these really bright, smart people. And yeah, I really encourage you to utilize this time to the best of your ability. So plan ahead, make sure you take time for these calls, and yeah, get the most out of it. I think this also is what really sets apart our platform from many others, in that we do truly want you to succeed and want to give you the best possible chance to succeed. And by pairing you with an industry expert, we've found that students are much more likely to be successful and have a much more engaged experience on our platform. Something else that will help with the engagement is your online community. I believe that sometimes a virtual learning experience can be a bit isolating and lonely. So we try and take that out of that experience by allowing you to communicate with your peers in the online community. This online community houses students outside of just your current cohort, outside of the April cohort for business analytics. We also have alumni who live here. Anytime you complete the course, you will always have access to our online community, our content, and our curriculum. We still have alumni posting questions, posting resources in here all the time. We also have students from other cohorts, so students who might have started the course in January or February also live here and also have been asking questions in here. So again, encourage you to reach out and get to know those who are in the online community and those who are taking the course with you. A really important component of our course structure, and something that I think many people underutilized, and I really urge you guys just to introduce yourself today. Say hey, reach out, let other students who might be living very close to you're also taking the course, join study groups, and get to know those who are doing the same thing you are. Just a quick eagle eye overview here. This is your course timeline. It is a 12-week course, which means you'll have 12 calls with your mentor. It's spaced out. So today it starts with orientation. Your first course start date is April 1st on Monday. You'll find out who your mentor is, like I said, March 29th. And then from there on out, you can begin to kind of start to plan where you'll hit the halfway point and when you can prepare for your course completion. So speaking of pacing and completion, it will take around 8 to 12 hours a week to hit that 12-week course finish date. This is an estimate, right? Because every student comes into the course with a different background, with different technical and foundational skills. We have an Excel introduction component of our course. The first unit of our platform is about Excel. So if you already know Excel, if you already feel really comfortable, feel free to skip that. So like I said, it is an estimate. So everyone might take different amounts of time going through the course or progressing through the case studies. So take that with a grain of salt, but do know that that's kind of what we estimate how much time it will take for you. And as I said before, you need to pass 3 out of the 5 case studies to get your certificate of completion. You can choose which 3 of the 5, or you can do all of them as well. How can you make the most of your course? So now we'll kind of move into those tips and tricks that I said before. We get these tips and tricks from our alumni, from our mentors, from students who are taking the course currently. So this is what we're hearing our students feel that they need to be successful. The first thing is time management. So this means setting goals today ahead of time before the course starts so you can manage those inevitable interruptions that will probably come up. Many of our students are, parents. They have full social lives. They might be working full time. They might be taking another course. They might still be in college. So I think prioritizing this course now ahead of time and scheduling so that you can devote time a week to this course is of the utmost importance. You can do this by either one, doing it yourself, two, using our study plan tool, which is on our course dashboard, which will help you guesstimate and estimate how much time each chapter will take and will help you plan out your weeks. Or you can also reach out to me for this. As your student advisor, this is something that I would love to help with. I can send you study tools or study tricks, and also just be there to be accountable to someone every week. So time management, number one tip to succeed. Our second tip that we've heard time and time again, develop a really good relationship with your mentor. So this means not only treating your mentor how you would like to be treated, but also getting to know them. So learning about their background, explaining your background, discussing expectations ahead of time, making sure you have backup links, and explaining your communication style, your learning style. The more transparent and open you can be with your mentor, I personally feel the better, mostly because our mentors are truly wanting to become better mentors, better educators, better teachers, and so they need to know what you need to be able to best help and work with you. So on the first call, I encourage you to go over many of those things, if not all of them, and also make sure you have backup links ahead of time. So if for some reason Skype isn't working that day, or you'll have to call the mentor on your phone instead of going on the computer, you have that available for you, so you're not rushing last minute. So maybe if you're comfortable sharing your phone number or your email, or maybe your Zoom account or your peer account with your mentor instead of just Skype, so that if those reschedules need to happen, or if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can still contact your mentor and you guys can still make use of that precious time. With your mentor calls, you can set up weekly call topics 24 hours in advance. You can do this through your mentor call tab, which I have a visual of down below. This allows your mentor to know what you plan on talking about in the agenda, so he or she can best prepare for that call. In this tab, you also will be able to give feedback to your mentor by rating the call. This relays that information to me, your student advisor. I can then see how your calls are going. This helps me communicate with you. This helps me communicate with your mentor, and allows us all just to kind of have a clear understanding of how each call is going and how the mentorship is progressing. The third and final tip is to engage in the community. As I said, I think the more you can get to know those who are in the course with you, the better. So ask questions in the online community where Justin manages. Odds are someone is going to have the same, if not a very similar question that you might have. So really urge you to ask questions if you need to, share resources, explain your thought process, share Excel shortcuts, whatever it needs to do, or whatever needs to be in the community. I think it's just important to put yourself out there and get to know others. If you haven't already, you can create or join study groups. So if you find out that, hey, I'm in Massachusetts, maybe another student is, maybe you can introduce yourself and say, hey, I'd love to join a study group if anyone is near the area. This is also where you can attend and request office hour topics. Currently, our office hours are hosted with our data science vertical, as we found that many students weren't actually utilizing this time. So we pair with our data science vertical and have an office hours call on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You will get an invite to this, but it is a little bit about data science and also a little bit about business analytics. So if you ever want to request an office hour topic, definitely reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to curate that for you and help you have the best experience possible. Great, so what happens now, make sure you finish your introduction section of your profile before your first mentor call. This allows me to match you with a mentor who will fit you best. I look at your availability first, your time zone, your background, your interests when I am matching you with your mentor. So the more specific you can be, the better. You will also be able to meet your mentor via email. I will send out the information on Friday. From there, you can reach out to them, let them know that you're excited for the first call and start preparing for that call. And do note that your course officially starts Monday, April 1st. So your call with your mentor will be either someday between Monday and that Friday. Great, so I feel like I've just been blabbing for a while now, so would love to stop sharing my screen and ask questions, or allow for people to ask questions now. I'm just now seeing the chat box. It looks like someone wasn't hearing something, but does that sound okay now? Okay, well, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions that you might have. I know I ran through that pretty quickly.
Hi, Molly. This is Christina. I have a question. You talked about office hours and the pairing of the data analytic, or sorry, the business analytics with the data science team, and that if we had particular topics we wanted to address, that we should, serve those up in advance. Does that mean that office hours are structured, or maybe you could talk about how office hours are structured on a topic by topic basis, or is it just very, very free form, where people just raise their hand and say, hey, can you tell me about this?
Great question. Great question, Christina. They are relatively free form. We have themes and structures each week. So this can vary. We've had interview tips and tricks before. We brought in local business analysts, local data scientists, and just lightning talk questions at them. We've also done capstone presentations and case study presentations where we have a student or a mentor go over how they thought through the case study or how they made their capstone project, so students can see examples of work. And we also just have random question and answer slots where we can have students jump in at a more that free form setting that you were referring to, and say, hey, I have a question about case study 3. I really would like to know how I can use Tableau here. Can you help me? Or maybe a data science student would also jump in and say, hey, I've been having trouble with chapter 3 data wrangling. Let's discuss that. So each week is a different theme or subject, and then it's kind of formed around that theme. But we send that ahead of time just so you can know to either come to the office hour if you'd like, or skip it if you want it.
Thank you.
Oh, great question.
Okay, since no one else is talking, I'll jump in. How do we, can you just kind of like guide us as to where we find other folks in our area to create a study group?
Yeah, so in your online community, which is hosted through Forum B, which is just the platform that we use, we have like an introduction section, we have like a sharing resources section, upcoming events. So I would urge you to go to your introduction section and say, hey, I'm Christina, I'm from
Los Angeles.
And really looking to get to know others in the area, if there are any students. If not, let's find a time where we can all meet and sync up. If anyone's interested in a study group, let's meet here. So it will take a little bit of autonomy on your part to gather those. However, sadly right now we are limited to 2 cities, but if you are in San Francisco or near the San Francisco Bay Area or New York City, we are hosting live in-person events each month just to help kind of engage our community. You should be getting emails about that within the next couple of weeks. We try not to overwhelm students with all that information, but it's actually part of my job as well. So I'm building out our offline community presence in major cities. LA is down the road. We're looking at other places too, but yeah, we're definitely trying to build out community and engage our students offline as well as online. So if you want to take the initiative to kind of wrangle some other students nearby, you can do that by posting in the community for now.
Great, thanks so much.
Oh, great questions. Anyone else feel like unmuting themselves and joining me?
Hi, this is Angela. So you did mention a chat group for this class and data science class. Where is that chat group where we can sort of crowd answers to homework questions, for instance?
So the community is where you would go. The community is just with business analytics students. It is not with our data science.
Oh, okay.
Just the office hours are aligned, but yeah, your online community is where you can go to ask questions.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. So it has to be Excel, can't be Google Sheets?
I believe it needs to be Excel. I think you could use Google Sheets for a majority of the work, but I think we ask that students download it. You could always give it a try and see if it's working for you, and if you feel super comfortable with that, you can go ahead and try. But yeah, we do say that the most updated version of Excel is best, but if you feel comfortable using others, feel free to give it a go and see how it works.
Cool, thank you.
Well, in the meantime, while maybe everyone's taking a breather and thinking about their question, I will add in my email to the chat box. And if you have any questions that you either don't feel comfortable asking here, or remember like 2 minutes later, of course, like after the calls when I was like, oh, I had a question, now I remember, reach out to me at molly@springboard.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you.
Hi Molly, just a quick question from me. The weekly calls with your mentor, they have to be completely related to the curriculum, or can you use that time as well to discuss career or things?
Yeah, great question. You can use that time to talk with your mentor about anything that you and your mentor feel comfortable talking about. I like to say this is a case-by-case basis, as some of our mentors are extremely outgoing, extremely extroverted, and are like, let me tell you all about my interview process. I'd love to like sit with you and help you with your resume. Other mentors might say, I have a pretty specific time block that I'm dedicating to this course and to my mentees, so I'd like to stick strictly to the curriculum. So I would say it's under your and the mentor's jurisdiction of what you go over and what is allowed. I think the main idea is that you're using it to discuss the content in the curriculum. However, I would say many students do talk to their mentors about things outside of the course. So, similar things like interview tips and tricks, or I know at some point we had like a friendship going on where a student and mentor would like have a glass of wine together at the same time every night, and they just became friends. And so I think every relationship is different, but I think as long as you and your mentor are both comfortable with whatever you're discussing, you're more than welcome to bring the conversation outside of the curriculum.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Cool. Well, I am seeing a natural lull. So you guys have my email here. If you have any other questions, please reach out. If you would like to set up weekly calls with me, I'd love to chat with you. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your afternoons. You'll be seeing an email from me as early as tomorrow afternoon and as late as Friday at the end of the day Pacific Standard Time. And that will let you know who your mentor matches. If you feel like joining us for our office hours, our first call is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The link is in your community, so I've uploaded it to upcoming events. And feel free to join us, and we will be having a capstone project presentation, I believe. So we'll be more focused on data science, but I think the courses are relatively similar enough where you can still gain a ton of new information by joining in. And you can kind of see what the other courses are like. So if you're ever interested in data science down the road, you can get a little bit of a look inside of that. Otherwise, it was great getting to speak to many of you today. Thanks so much for taking the time to be oriented, and I will hopefully see you guys soon, and best of luck with the course.
Thanks, Molly.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.